Put your hands on the truck.
Yeah.
He didn't act like this.
Yeah.
You got this badge on right here. Why are you wearing an arson investigator badge to serve papers? For one, his cameras. Is it on?
It is on.
Recording?
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Spencer, pull my ride into that driveway.
When were you recording as you were driving down the road at 90 miles an hour? No.
Being a police officer means living a life of integrity and bravery. Risking their lives to save strangers is like less a lifestyle and more a fulfillment for them. Becoming a police officer isn't an easy task. It requires a lot of hard work and discipline during the training. Not mentioning the tough training at the police academy, people think being a cop is a fun thing driving around with a fake badge. No matter how much people try to become a cop, they usually stick out like a sore thumb, because it's not a thing that everyone can do. Here is a case where a real cop caught a fake cop.
Who's the supervisor over that? Do they know you're wearing that radio while you're working your private job, serving civil papers?
Yes, sir.
They know you're using that radio?
Yes, sir.
They do?
Yes, sir.
Adam?
Yes, sir.
We're going to find out all that.
Okay.
Step out and step in the back here.
Sure.
On 8th February 2019 at 1:56 p.m., a 39-year-old man, Jeremy Kirk, decided to take the streets of South Pine in Cabot, Arkansas in his fake cop car. While traveling, Detective David Dillon of the Lonoke County Sheriff's Office observed a black Dodge Ram activating yellow, green, and red emergency lights. The vehicle was at the speed of 90 miles per hour, passing several cars recklessly. Also, there's a sticker reading "Caution, Working K9" on the rear window, along with the push bumper at the front truck. He was driving like a madman on the roads, but then his luck didn't stay with him for longer, as he ran into the Detective Dillon. Detective Dillon, who initiated the traffic stop, was later joined by some of his colleagues. Here is this, which happened at the scene, as captured on the body-worn camera of Jeremy Kirk.
Let's step out. You got handcuffs too?
I do.
Stay right back there. You have a weapon on you besides your pocket knife?
No, sir.
You have any firearms in the truck?
No, sir.
You have a canine in there?
No, sir.
Is that our frequency you're listening to?
Yes, sir.
Detective Dillon, who was an actual law enforcement officer, noticed that something was off with Jeremy, so he initiated the traffic stop on him, and that was the point when the whole scam fell apart. Dillon noticed that Jeremy had a police badge around his neck, a body camera, handcuffs and buttons in the car, and there were also several antennas on the top of the vehicle. He made his car look like the real one cops had, so he'd look like an actual officer. The way he explained why he was having all these things was never straight. He said that he worked for ADEM as a volunteer, but that's also wouldn't allow him to access all these equipment.
Where's the canine?
At home.
What kind of dog is it?
German Shepherd.
What does it do?
He's a tracking dog. He's a certified search and rescue dog.
Who at Adam do you work for?
I work for the Races.
For what?
Races?
Races?
Yes. Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service. There we go.
Detective Dillon asked Jeremy about his K9. He described that he had German Shepherd, who is a tracking dog known as Certified Search to Rescue Dog. According to him, he works in RACES, Radio Amateur Civil Emergency Service, for ADM.
Let me see your radio. Let me see that part. You have an ID from Adam?
I do.
Let me see it.
Sure.
Jeremy had created a complete mess that he even confused the officers the way he answers all their questions. He was in his deep act of impersonation. He even had an A1 radio through which he could intercept police communications and dispatch messages. He was telling one lie after another, but the detectives were not buying his story. When he said that he had an ID for ADEM, Detective Dillon then asked him the phone number to call ADEM, which he's using. After checking with ADEM, it was learned that he was only an amateur radio operator for them. ADEM requested Detective Dillon to seize the radio, his ADEM identification card. Detective Dillon kept asking him questions, as he expected. Jeremy kept lying and put himself in an unexplainable position where he can't prove anything. Detective Dillon called to Adem to prove his identity, as he was repeatedly saying that he was authorized to do as he pleases. When he was asked about his speed, he said that he had to serve papers and handle them the papers.
What you're going to serve right now?
Oh, the serve?
on him like that. Back up. Back up.
I got a hearing disability. I'm sorry.
Well, then you can say that without stepping towards us.
Listen, I don't have a hearing disability.
Okay.
I can talk louder. But
Okay,
here's what you
appreciate
have. The papers that you're going to serve right now,
I can
that's
handle
what I need to see.
Yes, sir.
You have insurance with you?
I do.
I don't need to hold it. Here, let me hold it for you.
That's everything I'm serving, sir.
No, I told you what you were serving. What I asked for was very clear. What are you serving right now that you were driving like that for?
Restraining order.
When Jeremy messed up everything, he started acting like he had hearing disability, like an idiot at the time of explaining about his urgent papers that he had to serve. He had to make up his mind whether those are divorce papers or restraining orders. One of the officers noticed that the dates on the papers were over a month. The way all the things were happening has too many inconsistencies and too much stupidity for anything to believe.
Who are you working for to serve these papers?
Myself.
No. Who asked you to serve these papers?
Oh, well, that's the attorney out of
Texas.
Texas. Yes, sir.
How'd they get a hold of you?
Internet.
So why is your handgun license revoked? You have your criminal history? What did you think this was okay for? I think you're trying to be the police and you can't be the police.
No.
That's what I think.
The things started getting worse from then on. Look at the lights that he had installed on his vehicle, exactly similar to the ones that are installed on the police vehicles. This is the point where the things started turning bad, when the detective realized that Jeremy has his handgun license revoked. Believe it or not, but Jeremy was caught in a big trouble than he would have imagined, because this idiot was lying then for much longer than this interaction.
Any charges in your accident? Does Adam know that?
Nope.
They will.
Why are you taking my truck?
We're towing it and we're going to inventory it
Okay.
because you got handcuffs, you got a badge, you got a body camera, you resemble law enforcement, you're running lights and sirens down the middle of the road. You're telling me that the reason you have handcuffs is to theft deterrent, which doesn't make sense. You got felony charges on you and you got a badge.
Jeremy now must have thought that he would have been at home because driving a fake cop car has felony charges, and he never reported them on any official documents, including his work at Adem. He was the same guy who wants to serve papers and walk around arresting people.
I'm sorry?
So I love our dogs.
It just so happens I'm a dog guy.
Outstanding. We're going to get along well then.
No, we're not either. I'm not a criminal.
I'm the real police.
You're a convicted felon. We don't get along.
And you run lights. And I bet you Adam doesn't know you're a convicted felon, part of their organization. And we're going to check with the driver control about getting the search and rescue tags.
Now, Jeremy was caught in the actual trouble because of his love for his German-speaking dog that wouldn't help him get out of his trouble. It's too late for him to play buddied with the cops. Jeremy Kirk was then arrested for impersonating a police officer and also had felony charges. His vehicle was towed to the Lonoke County Sheriff's Office for further investigation. After his arrest, the Lonoke County Sheriff's Office has received information from Central Arkansas law enforcement agencies and citizens that he has been making contact with public as a law enforcement officer. After publicizing Jeremy's arrest, Lonoke County Sheriff's Office asked public to let them know if they had encountered him impersonating police officer. In response, they received numerous emails from public and members of law enforcement regarding their encounters with impersonating officer Jeremy Kirk. They also received a letter from the drug enforcement agencies. Honestly, the streets are a lot safer with him locked up, but unfortunately, he was released shortly after that. But the next year, he was arrested again for impersonating an officer, as he seems to be addicted to it.